This UFL Picks Week 3 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up on Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits.
This is Coach June Jones, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money Green, with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. I got pizza on my face, Sean.
Really? Why do you have pizza on your face?
Well, last week, UFL slate.
Yeah.
Didn't treat me well.
Yeah.
So when I went home to make a little pizza pie, I got some on my face. We need an actual pizza oven in the office now. My first pizza oven.
I tried to talk you into some winners, right? I can only do what I can.
It's not about you. It's about me. I was being introspective and transparent with the audience.
Joining us on the line, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee, from the UFL Gambling Podcast. In case you don't get enough UFL action here on this show, check out the UFL Gambling Podcast with Colby. Now, Colby was just you just got around in, said you just came off the golf cart.
Look at that sun he got on the face.
A little Colby's at his beach place right now. It's kind of his Masters tradition. Well, Colby, give us a live update on the Masters.
Sean, it's beach. He's by a bunker.
Yeah, okay. He spends more time in the sand than David Hasselhoff. I know the chums at the clubhouse like to rib him, but Colby, how's your Masters week going?
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm following the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. I've been listening to that while I've been out on the fairway, and you know,
it's a hilarious visual.
The country club, there's several, right? Walking distance close to me. They know me on a first name basis. You guys should check it out. Come out east, get out of that filthy, bum ridden California bullshit there, right?
Sean, real quick side note.
Yes.
The next time we do any sort of, and perhaps a draft day 4 in the works, but next time we have some sort of charitable giveaway auction type deal, a round of golf with Colby Dant.
Oh yes,
and
100%.
CJ Sullivan. You and a person of your choice gets to play with Colby and CJ.
That would be amazing.
That's a penalty right there, right? I feel like that would be.
You get to hang out for 3 hours,
and you get to watch Colby make it through 18 holes.
And CJ will surprise you.
Yes,
it's going to be like Tin Cup, where I'm using the baseball bat, the Louisville Slugger.
No, Colby, don't. Colby just said he got his handicap down to 3. He's working on his fade there with his hybrid club. So, and yes, actual Masters update. Thank you to everyone who've been sending me the Fred Couples clip. Yeah, apparently he is a listener to the podcast. Heard all the shit that me and another individual on the podcast. For some reason, it's all coming back to me online, but continue to send me the Fred Couples clips. He always starts good on day 1, and that's day 2 is where he unravels.
Sean, first of all, we are the show. Yes. So stop making it about yourself.
Okay.
All right. If you sometimes you catch it.
You were the one who threw me under the bus.
Well, sometimes it also, that's for content purposes. And also, listen, when you get credit for my first touchdown plays, you're not mad about it.
I do tell people, I go, no, that was
not
Ryan.
Not always.
That was Ryan.
Not always.
Speaking of getting credit, look at these picks. Colby 10-3-1 ATS, myself 9-3-1 ATS, both hitting our locks at 67%. Even Ryan pulling up the caboose there at 7-5-1 against the spread. Our consensus picks 6-2.
Embarrassing performance last week.
Yeah, where do you think it went wrong, Ryan? For me, it was believing in teams like the Brahmas, the Panthers.
I would say 2 things. One, I bet the Brahmas thing, bad Mr. Kellen Mond, just got to remember that.
Yeah.
Getting caught up in the Spring King hype, that was a little embarrassing. And then less regrets about the Panthers game at the end of the day. I think the quarterback injury right up front changed the dynamic of that one. And I think if you run that one back, it's maybe a little bit different.
I know.
You play that game 10 times. I think it goes under every time, but I think the Panthers are in the mix a little bit more. But Stallions played great. They are.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah.
The Stallions.
The box score actually tells you to me, they dressed it up a little bit. That was an ass whooping.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Well, they was forced to play the better quarterback the whole game. Your boy Skip.
I mean, Mago would have been fine. And don't worry, he's out for 5 weeks. So you got Corral and Case Cookus now in the mix.
Oh,
which that's an upgrade in my book. That's an upgrade.
I agree that it was an upgrade. I don't know if it was the difference in the game. Alex Mago going out. He was actually like a willing runner, and I think gave their offense a couple things that certainly have helped the team.
Sean, why did I lock up the under?
Yeah,
in that game, because that was the lock of the game. So you're welcome.
But also too, you could not go wrong. Again, all 4 unders cash. I think that's what 7-1 to the unders.
We got thrown off the scent because a couple teams were looking a little spunky in the first week offensively.
Yeah, there was. So 6-1-1 to the under. Yeah, the offensive production was actually worse week 2 than it was week 1. They should. Yeah.
Since you bring it up, guys, this is where I will crowbar in. This is what happens when you switch to that foo-foo kickoff. The last kickoff, the real kickoff, better than the NFL's kickoff, the old one, right? I'm talking about like the one from the UFL and USFL. That had been giving a lot of points for each team. If you're trying to sell the league with points, just to let you know, we're 2 weeks into this foo-foo kickoff, and there's almost a 7-point difference for each team. So that has to have something to do with it, because before you would get the ball at like the 45-yard line, I feel like every single possession.
Well, to Colby's point, these teams need all the help they can get. So whatever gets them the extra 10 yards of field position might end up being decent for the game, but it's certainly great for the unders. And I regret I only played 1 under last week. I should have played more, obviously.
Can we get back to the punting real quick?
Sure.
All right. So second week in,
no one knows the rules.
Still no one knows the rule.
They're still trying to knock it out of bounds inside the 20.
And Dino,
it's insane.
And Dino Blandino, he tried to sell it.
This is a Dino.
Yeah,
I was thinking
but the way that he tried
Flintstones dog.
This has to be a rule where they need to, because whether or not the ball is in play or out of bounds, if it lays dead anywhere inside the 25, it just comes to the 25. When they were designing this rule, what do you think they were trying to get the punter to do? Like in their mind, what is optimal?
No, I read the thing. The thing was they came up with the rule to discourage punts, to encourage teams to go for it on 4th down more, which again drives me insane for these spring leagues that they are still so many times so conservative. You have nothing to lose.
I read that they wanted more returns, and I'm like, what?
Oh, okay. I thought
why would you want more returns? You would let it drop and you get it at the 25.
And it's insane. Even with the punt rule, they're on the opponent's side of the football and they're fucking punting it. Go for it on 4th down, you pussy.
I see
you
that.
have nothing to lose. You're probably not going to, statistically, you have like a 20% chance of being the coach at the end of the year. From what I'm seeing with these coaching changes.
Well,
like,
I don't know. Curtis Johnson's got some dirt. But yeah, these coaches are going out left and right.
Play to win the game.
AJ Smith.
Follow us up on the coaching news, Colby, because it's week 2 and we already have a coaching carousel.
Yeah, well, we had one even like 6 days before the season started. But so AJ Smith, the OC of the Brahmas, who was previously the OC with June Jones of the Roughnecks back in the original
Roughnecks.
Yeah, with PJ Walker. He stepped down, and I mean, look, they really it's compelling to me in a way because they really hyped this guy up last year and the year before. I didn't think he was as good as they deemed him. A perfect example would be look at last week's box score. Anthony McFarland, who I think is by far the best running back in this league, 6 rushes, 55 yards, 9.2 yards a rush. But hey, let's give 10 rushes to Corbin. It's just one of the more mind-boggling things. So like he stepped down. He was not fired, for what I understand. He stepped down. I don't know if that was.
I have details if you're interested.
Okay. Sure.
So basically, and I would have loved. This is where like UFL. Please tell me you put cameras everywhere to create content with the off-field stuff to make more fucking money for your league. Or no, you're not trying to make money. You're a Ponzi scheme. But basically, it sounds like him and Wade Smith had a argument.
Wade Phillips.
Sorry, what did I say?
Smith.
Wade Smith. Yeah. That's an interesting botch up.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's AJ Smith. Wade Phillips apparently he must have had some inkling that he didn't want to run the air raid or whatever they're run, whatever version of it they're running. And Wade Phillips did not agree that the best system for the Brahmas offense was the system they were running. Sounds like,
I mean, it took them to the championship last year, but my problem is this, look, they replace him with Jack Party's grandson, Jack Party, the old Houston Oilers coach and Houston Cougars coach when they had Andre Ware. And so that's really cool, but he runs the run and shoot. That's what he ran with the Oilers. So, and at the University of Houston with David Klingler and Andre Ware. So you're running. AJ Smith is a June Jones disciple. June Jones runs the run and shoot. So I don't see. Cool to have a party involved with football, of course, but I don't understand the radical difference.
So you're not going to have, yeah. So this is what the expectation is. They're going to go to a lot more heavy sets, run, pass, punt, and you should expect to see the quarterback running a bit more too.
Well, Anthony McFarland, I would have already demanded a trade after last season because the best way to compare this is like when the USFL was going a couple years ago, when Cavante Turpin touched the ball, even if it was like a 4-yard, reverse, it just popped on screen because you're like, wow, he's way more faster than anyone on this field. A similar thing with McFarland. I think McFarland's like an NFL running back, and he's just way better than everybody else. And I've been dumbfounded the past 2 years where I'm just like, why do they barely get him the ball? I would have demanded a trade if you could in this league. Seems like you could, because right?
I think they can, but they'll trade your ass to Arby's. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, every player is getting the same amount of money. So yeah, what's stopping? Do they have a trade deadline? I don't think they do because didn't they like crazy ass trades at the end of last year, like going into the couple last weeks of the season?
Yeah, no, that's just a problem. By the way, it's Peyton Party. Shout out to Peyton Party, the new OC, but. This is an issue with the league, in my opinion, is like with them owning all the teams. Yeah. I think that's a flaw. It's a flaw. So you saw this past week, Marcus Sims, I think it was the 6th leading receiver in the league last year. Michigan Panthers wideout was traded for an offensive lineman. Kind of a questionable trade, but we'll see. He was dumbfounded by it. He kind of shit on them on Twitter. But also we had just praised the DC defenders because really the DC's offense looked like shit this past week. So right before the season, Reggie Barlow takes the Tennessee State job, leaves the DC defenders. And we had said, their interim head coach was also the offensive coordinator at Tennessee State. They have a spring game this weekend. Greg Williams, after 2 great defensive performances, I think they look like the best defense in the league, them or Birmingham. And he just up and quits after 2-0 to take the Tennessee State position. A lot of people, one of the things I love is how when you go to the UFL Reddits, I enjoy the fans that think the DC defender's job is a better gig.
Oh, yeah.
So I did the math on this. Reggie Barlow was making $67,000.
Okay.
$67,000 as the, according to this, all the coaches were making $67,000. I don't know that to be that's just off Google, but, Tennessee State, you're going to make 20 times that. And also the state of Tennessee owes Tennessee State $157 million from basically hiding money from them. So like it's a much better gig. So I can only imagine what Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, makes
put it this way. He left the job for the other job. What I mean, that tells you all you need to know. He would only do it, I would imagine, for more money. If the UFL was that much better of a gig, he would have told Tennessee State to fuck off. Like, these coaches are pretty obvious. They go from gig to gig. I mean, if you're Greg Williams, the NFL isn't, knocking on your door right now. If you have a better opportunity, he's going to take it. So that's how you know it's a better opportunity. He took it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
so
I mean,
I
think this is going to continue to happen, guys.
So based on the reporting that I'm seeing, the range of his salary was likely to be 75 to 90K.
Okay. Where did you find
for
that?
Tennessee
when I
State?
Google this, no.
No,
not
in the so I'm asking
No.
I'm asking Grok, and so the expectation based on some reporting is that high profile coordinators could make as much as 75 to 90K. So I'm gonna guess Greg Williams was on the high end of the pay scale for the UFL coach to defense or coordinators in general.
Yeah.
But what do you think he's getting paid at Tennessee? I mean that.
They have a lot of. They're about to have a shit ton of money. The state of Tennessee owes them like $157 million from hiding stuff with their taxes.
Now who's filling in for Greg Williams?
His son. He did get his son the gig, who was the D-line coach. So maybe that's not a big drop off. I don't know. They
have a D-line coach in the UFL.
Yeah, he works. He does Uber Eats also, but no,
I mean, it's always, to me, unclear. Like, oh, okay, well, yeah, of course they have a linebackers coach. I mean, it's not crazy to think that they wouldn't. Like, the way they run this league, I'm not surprised when they don't have certain things.
And all around RU in the chat saying Fred Caius is the Tennessee State offensive coordinator. That was the Defenders offensive coordinator. But here's the thing: if you look at Shannon Harris, their interim head coach's LinkedIn, he says interim head coach DC Defenders, current offensive coordinator Tennessee State. So you figure it out. You know what I mean? They have a spring game this weekend. I expect more of these coaches.
Is updating his LinkedIn.
Yeah, he's got to get the phone to right.
That's somewhat surprising.
All right.
And by the way, Greg Williams' kid did have a defensive coordinator job at Arkansas Pine Bluff, which is FCS. So, which strikes me as an actual real job. So maybe it's not just a comical nepotism here. And in some ways, you could argue that this is dragging your kid down, bringing him to the UFL.
It's a gig's a gig. I mean, he's a young guy.
But I mean, he's getting to be the coordinator. That's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
By the way, the Pine Bluffs 3-8 that season. Defense wasn't very good.
The Golden Lions. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We got some games to get to before we do. Shout out to Edge Boost. Ever had your deposit blocked by your bank account right before a big bet? Ever needed cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables, but hit your ATM limit? I've been there. So many issues over the years using cards. The bank flagging it left and right, crazy fees. Edge Boost has your back. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. Edge Boost gives you fast, reliable access to your funds, making it easier to move money when and where you need it without the delays that can come with traditional banks. For you high rollers, you can move up to $250K a day on your Edge Boost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7. For instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. It gets even better. Every time you deposit into a qualified gambling account, you earn cashback rewards up to 0.5%. All this for no usage fees and no minimum balance. Edge Boost is a debit account that makes it easy to get started with no credit checks, no minimum balance, and no usage fees. Simply verify your identity and you're ready to go. Finally, Edge Boost has a suite of responsible gambling tools to help you manage your bankroll and make informed decisions. What are you waiting for? Go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Sign up for Edge Boost today. And of course, mybookie.ag. Use that promo code SGPN. Get in on some live Masters action. Of course, even my bookie has the UFL line, sides, totals. Get in over there, accepting customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit with that cryptocurrency. Even easier withdrawals, and you get that sweet deposit match. Check out the casino, mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN, 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply on the deposit bonus. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN.
Colby, I can tell Colby's been distracted.
Oh, he's got his Masters app open.
Yeah.
He's got Amen Corner. He's got the bird noises piped into his earphones. He's not even listening to the show, Kramer. It's really upsetting.
I did see there's some aftermarket YouTube channels where you can get like Masters quality bird noises.
Oh, really?
So if we ever wanted to just pipe bird noises,
if Colby actually was a golf fan, he would be enraged to learn that they do pipe in fake bird noises from time to time.
I love how they do that, but if you make any noise on the course, remember Tiger Woods that one time someone took a photo
People
or something.
get
That camera right now.
Now I will say there are something that, and I know Colby's not very pro live either, but something that live is kind of introducing back into golf is the idea of there being noise during a golf tournament, music playing, more fun atmosphere, get the
noise
kids out
in
there.
Sports, golf would be an awesome sport if you were golfing and it was just
Happy Gilmore.
You need, I mean, that's like, a little bit you get that with the Waste Management or whatever the new sponsor is down there in Arizona. You get kind of the party atmosphere, but yeah, it's like, what about golf makes it so that we have to what a horrible spectator sport. You just got to walk around and be quiet. It's coming, Colby. I think it
wasn't that long ago. You had to walk around, be quiet, and be only white.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, and not be a woman too. Those were
and have your collared shirt on.
I mean, literally, shaven. like 15 years ago, they were protesting outside the Masters because women weren't allowed to play there. Like this isn't like the dark checkered history of like the 60s and 70s. This is like the 2010s. We gotta look.
Everyone back in the day was sounding like Brian Kelly's accent. Me
and my family don't like to see women out there on the course hacking it up. Yeah,
did I see a skirt on hole 9 today? I will not be paying my monthly.
Tiger Woods was still dealing with stuff, but he was dominating all of golf, including the Masters. So it's crazy. I mean, no surprise that golf is and in particular the Masters, kind of behind the 8 ball and some of that stuff.
Until 2012, Augusta National refused to formally admit women as members. I mean.
And when did they start being kind to other races? It was like 1988, probably, right? Like
it was it was like 95. It was
they did an update. Crazy. They did an update like the Mormon Bible. They also just deleted a couple things, and said, "Hey, God came down and changed it." Right?
Yeah, they are called the Masters. You can do the math on how progressive they may be with that name.
All right, when do you think the first African American member was invited?
I think
I don't even want to know.
96, 1996.
It was 1990.
Wow. I knew it was
Ron Townsend, a television executive.
That's and they had he had to go through some hoops for that one. Like he's a TV exec. You sure we can trust this guy?
And
they did it.
Amazing.
Actually, they did it after Shoal Creek Golf and Country Club, an all-white golf club in Alabama, refused. Maybe this is AI giving me some bad, but it sounds like Augusta was trying to be a good guy. They're Alabama's not letting them in. We should this is a good time to do it.
Yeah, slightly more
make Alabama look bad.
Yeah. Let's get to some picks, Ryan. Bet boy Tony in the chat saying, "Let's make some of this easy UFL money."
That's my guy right there. That's my guy. Yeah, shout out to Bet boy Tony C.
That's a great handle.
It's Masters week. I wanted to give Colby enough time. I know it's his beloved game. That's why he's he's actually renting a house right off the big bunker by the 12th green because he loves the Masters so much. Beautiful Augusta, Georgia. All right, let's talk UFL. Which, as I was building out our schedule all the way through the summer, I came across a realization that the UFL actually, I'll give them credit for something. They've mostly got a static schedule this year.
Okay.
Like we can expect Friday night football. We can expect a game on like 3 games across Saturday and Sunday, usually 2 Sunday morning. So they've gotten better. Still feel like there's a lot of room for opportunity here. Like Monday nights are just dreadful in the summer. Why aren't we playing a game? But Friday night, first Friday in a while, Sean, we won't be out at the beautiful Circa in Las Vegas. The withdrawals of realizing I won't be playing craps later that night. They're going to hit me tomorrow morning. And I'll be watching this one maybe at God's Eye, maybe just in front of the
yeah. We didn't
house.
even talk about the insane blackjack run I went on.
You want to talk about it before we get into the game?
Sure. I mean, yeah. There's not much to it. We sat down.
Well, after the show, there's always a bit of a routine. We come back down. I think did I play a little of the NFL slot? What
sounds about right. Yeah.
And then you were having some conversations. Oh, that's right. Cause we had Rolly on.
Yeah.
Talking some shop, AK boxing. He's fighting, by the way, he's the one fighting the Ryan Garcia outside at Times Square.
May 2nd. We had Rolly
Derby
on.
Day.
Yeah.
Derby or the night before Derby Day.
Yep.
But yeah, then I don't even really because I remember thinking I wanted to play craps. I think I played craps before the show though, and so I got it out of my system. And then blackjack happened. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can tell that. I mean, the story from your perspective is probably a lot more fun.
Yeah, no, I just sat down and I couldn't lose. I was just hitting blackjack after blackjack after blackjack. Went on an incredible run. Shout to Circa 3-2. It was great.
If you've ever
just had a big pile of chips, kept pushing it in. It was awesome.
If you've ever gambled with Sean, there's 2 distinct looks in Sean's face, like him being completely obliterated and him on a heater where all of a sudden he met, not that he has issues with dexterity, but over the years he's been known to be a little clumsy with the hands. And on this heater, he had stacked up his chips obnoxiously tall into 2 piles that a normal, if this was normal,
like this side.
If we were in a normal situation where he's winning and losing hands, 100% he's knocked this pile of chips over multiple times. But this heater is so locked into both those strange denominations you were betting and the pile of chips. I could see it, and I'm sitting back every time I'm getting a 16, a 12, a 13. Busting, not. I wasn't.
Your strategy of not getting blackjacks was bad.
I was scraping by. Like it ended up being a positive run for me as well. But I mean, it was the kind of blackjack we sat. This was the beginning of the shoe. I'm pretty sure we started right up top.
Yep.
And I want to say you might have busted 2 times.
No, it was a heater of all. I
also don't think us on a single time that you didn't bust. I don't think you lost. I mean, I think
I lost. Yeah, I busted I probably in that shoe I went 20-5.
No, that is completely. I was gonna guess you were it was a longer shoe. There was just the 2 of us.
Yeah,
you were 35-3. If you're, I don't.
No, there were some
pushes in there for But when I say that you couldn't, it was an unreal, and even to the point where it was such an unreal heater that you knew exactly what to do when the table started cooling off.
Any sight of it changing a little cool.
2 hands, and all of a sudden, I thought we were going to play for a little bit. I'm sitting down, getting comfortable.
Come on, it was too hot.
Sean just stands up and slides his chips over.
At 800 turned it into 1900. It's not going to get any better than that. You got to walk away.
And you were not exactly pressing to big denominations either. That was a lot of fucking unit wins. It was crazy. Anyway, yeah, and then I wandered off after playing blackjack to make sure I used the rest of my slot free play.
The slot, how's the slot?
So I was in the slot free play only works on the older machines. So I nestle off into some degenerate corner where they've placed the old the machines that might still take a quarter or 2. smashed that for a bit. Didn't win anything. Anyway, good game here on Friday night again. So again, we have to give them some compliments. The Friday night game has been good. A couple weeks in a row here. The Renegades, who might have fooled us, or the great bounce back spot for the offense, taking on the Stallions, who looked like whatever happened week 1, they got things sorted out. Maybe it helped to get that Fugazi quarterback out of the way. Stallions laying 3.5 minus 175 on the money line. Renegades plus 145. 39.5 is the total. Now my instincts again are to say this is a pretty high total, but I don't know how much confidence I have in the Renegades defense. But based on what we've seen so far across the 2 games, clear under. Colby, are you just back to riding the Stallions?
Yeah, by far. I mean, they looked great last week. That defense is only giving up, I think, like 15 points a game, and a couple of those are from turnovers. So, and then you add in the offense. You know, CJ Marable's back. Deion Kane is out this game, but they got Marlon Williams back, the former UCF very Golden Knight, and I mean, I will say, I did not think Arlington would be that bad last week. Maybe is there such a thing as a look ahead spot in this league? I don't know, but
considered it.
But Birmingham's been on the road both weeks. They're coming home, Penetrope Stadium. I mean, let's go. I'm going to lay that number.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
What'd you say? Penetration Stadium, Colby?
Give me the over as well too. I think
really you're going over,
dude. Birmingham left points, and that Michigan's one of the better defenses. Birmingham threw an interception within the red zone or right around the red zone last week, and they missed on a couple deep balls. I think that's going to be a little more fluid. Also, like I said, CJ Marable back in the mix with Ricky Person Jr. The O-line looking better, and the fact that I have that home crowd. I'm curious to see what the crowd will be here because they've won 3 straight championships, so they might actually have something. I don't know, but yeah. I can't trust Arlington. I mean, Arlington's, I do think we took futures on both teams. By the way, you can get Birmingham at plus 270 right now for a future. Why not?
Love it.
Yeah. So I'll take the over though. I think this is the one that will hit the over.
I'm smashing the Stallions. Smash. I somewhat agree with Kramer that Magoo, maybe not the best option. I still thought he was fine as far as spring league quarterbacks go. At least
he had one bad game. I mean, come on. I mean, the guy was former MVP.
Yeah, he's fine, but I don't mind. I certainly don't think it's a massive downgrade to Matt Corral and Case Kukas if needed. I love this Stallions team. They're still clearly, in my mind, the best coach team, which I think matters more and more as these coaches fall off and whatever. And Luis Perez, I know Kramer loves his book. He's celebrating the Spring King. No way.
It's a tough bounce back spot for sure.
You think you like Arlington here?
No, I said it's a tough bounce back spot. If you need to fit whatever happened last week, I think you need to, not play the Stallions.
Yeah, I'm not even factoring in the situational spot that much for the Renegades. They could bounce back. I just think the Stallions are such a better team. I'm surprised this is only 3.5.
Yeah, no, I would lay it. I think, that was probably the main mistake from last week was not just putting the head down and realizing that the Stallions will figure it out. I do have the concerns would be, so I don't think this isn't, I disagree with Colby on the over here. I think whatever happened with the Renegades last week, also the Stallions in this game should go look at what Houston was able to do successfully. I think the Stallions are just going to be able to.
Which week?
Last week.
I'm saying
against this.
Curtis Johnson's done nothing successful. But 2 seasons there. 3 seasons,
but I think if the Stallions watch, they'll just they'll just load up and run the ball. And if you're running the ball, clock's moving a bit more. I hate the fourth quarter in these games, but this is also a very high total. So we're going to take a piece of the under and smash Birmingham as well. Lock potential, I think. I think the main thing that Corral brought that is better vision. I think Magoo is a little bit frantic. The reason this is an upgrade is because both quarterbacks they have now are not as frantic as Magoo. It might maybe the
but I thought Magoo did some stuff with his legs. Again, it was
okay, great, but they don't need. They have a good team everywhere, so maybe having a guy with a little bit more vision. Roughnecks Showboats. This is on Saturday, 11:30 a.m. local time here in the West Coast. They're in the Liberty Bowl, Colby's favorite bowl, but it looks really gross when there's no people there. And this is the worst.
Doesn't any stadium?
Yeah, but that one especially. It's so big.
I think Ford Field's the worst because it's so gigantic, and it's
I don't mind that. It's a dome. It's, what are you gonna do? It's just hanging out in a dome. Roughnecks Showboats. Showboats laying 4.5. That's crazy. Minus 225 on the money line. Roughnecks plus 185. 35.5 is the total. This is a real rock hard place situation.
Yeah, I mean the Showboats 24 combined points in 2 games. Roughnecks 15 combined points in 2 games.
Something's got to give. Yeah. Under, I guess we just play the under.
It's down to 35.5, but yes, I will take under 35.5, and I will take Memphis minus 4.5. I guess you could say it's crazy to take this Showboats team laying points. But the Roughnecks, I don't think look that good. I watched that entire Renegades game. That was more the Renegades playing with their food, having opportunities, blowing them. When they finally woke up at the end of the game, they're like, oh shit, we got to beat this team. They got the touchdown. They were up 11-3.
Yeah, because they have a great offense and they can do that. Arlington.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Roughnecks are the worst team.
Close your eyes. 14-11. Something like that. 14-10.
What about 14-9?
You're crazy to lay this big of a number.
You know what? And take the total off. I'm going total? Memphis minus 4.5. Not touching this total. I like the other 2 totals better. Colby, what are you doing? You're not taking the Roughnecks. They have the worst coach in the league by a wide margin.
No, not at all. I will lay it with Memphis. I think it's a smash play. I think Memphis gets it done now. I would like to see Troy Williams. These fucking stupid coaches, they continue to play. Troy Williams is more athletic than EJ Perry. Why would you, in a league like this where every throw is questionable?
They're both not good though.
Yeah,
but at least you could run. At least you could run the ball. Strike some fear in the defense. This is like 80s college football, where you like if you just put your best athlete under center, right? That's the play. You'll win more games. But Bet Detective's trying to sell me on the over here. He's saying there's pick sixes all over this game. Right?
Yeah, but you also have to have some of these throws are so bad they're tough to get a pick six. I don't know. I was initially thinking under because of how bad these offenses have been, but to CJ's point, you could get some turnovers in some situations. I'm not touching this total. That's how bad. And 35.5 is comically low.
And
Kramer, what do you
go look at the scores for their other games. I mean, I agree. Houston's auto fade. This is horrible. You know what? I money line, Memphis money line.
So what are you doing?
No, this also strikes me as a game where everyone is going to run to bet Memphis. And
they're going to need crowd control at the sportsbook window. Please, people, there's going to be a stampede with all this UFL action. Who is everyone that's running to bet this game? Right?
I think
we are the only people who give a shit about this league or talking about it. It's just us and a couple hardcore degenerates. Everyone like
you can't lay for. Have you
watch me lay? Watch me.
Yeah. Give me. I don't like either side here. This is a.
I'll
pass
take the under though. I got to go the under. I'm not
under and Houston.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm going to take Houston.
Wow.
I think they can cover if both teams don't get doubled.
Make a note of Colby's. Wow, that sounds like a drop. All right, so Houston plus 4.5 under 35.5.
Sunday morning, 9 a.m. This is the one window I like. Again, more compliments for the UFL schedule. I don't mind the 9 a.m. kick on Sunday morning. It's a good laying around as I'm the one day I might be sleeping and assuming I don't have a tremendously horrible youth volleyball tournament to sit in. 9 a.m. in Detroit. Beautiful. Speaking of beautiful indoor facilities with lots of fluorescent lighting, Brahmas, Panthers. Again, Brahmas not only losing their offensive coordinator, but seems like it's going to lead to a shift in how they play. Certainly how they call plays. They're plus 205. Panthers laying 5.5 minus 250. 36.5 is the total. I mean, I think I'm fine. Again, the Panthers are going to play a low scoring game in this one. I think the Brahmas defense is going to give the Panthers the same kind of trouble that the Stallions defense did, which is that their defensive line is probably going to win and make it harder for them to run the ball. And their dumbass offense is going to just keep trying to run the ball. I mean, some of the worst play calling inside the 5-10 yard line from the Panthers offense. I heard Colby like sitting on my ear, just chirping about how, yeah, obviously, dude. So now they're laying 5.5 in what again smash the under in this one. This is an obvious.
I do like this under 100%.
But how do you confidently lay 5.5 here? To me, I guess the note on the offense.
Can we talk about they traded Marcus Sims? They traded Marcus Sims, their receiver. Now they did get they haven't been able to run the ball very well, but Matt Colburn, their starting running backs, out for the season. They did trade Sims for an offensive lineman, but they lost maybe their best defensive player in Breland Speaks for the season as well. And to me, you got a San Antonio team that's going to give McFarland the ball more. Yeah,
no, I'm with you. I think
they're both going to run the ball.
I think the play is on the Brahmas and the under 36.5. Now, certainly the scary part about the Brahmas is betting real American currency on a guy like Kellen Mond. You're not going to go to bed Saturday night sleeping soundly knowing you got money on Kellen Mond.
He's not better than the other quarterbacks? I'm so puzzled by this.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's a name.
Well, hold on. So there's also speculation there could be a quarterback shift, and that this is Kellen Mond was AJ Smith's choice, and so that could.
You got to take the Brahmas because they're going to do a quarterback change, and it's a party. All right, Jack Party's grandson is the guy. You know the parties. Jack Party, former Washington Redskin linebacker, fullback. You got to get on board with this. Brahmas money line. Let's go.
I think. Oh, interesting. Okay. I think I'm going to officially put under 36.5 as a lock potential. This could be, I mean, we could be looking at, this could be my favorite play of the weekend.
I'm with you, Kramer. I do really like the under here. It's neither offenses have looked particularly well. I mean, some of it could be recency bias because I do think both Michigan playing at St. Louis and then Brahmas coming off, getting their ass kicked. Or sorry, Panthers were playing the Stallions. Now, granted, they were at home, and then Brahmas on the road against the Battlehawks. Like the two tougher spots.
Well, I'm
in the UFL.
I don't want to disclose it to the public yet, but I am tracking a trend that I think one more week and I'll feel pretty confident.
Really? Is it teams coming off a certain?
Again, I don't want to. I would rather not expose my hand here, but something like that.
No, this is the easiest game of the week.
Let's noon go. Out here on the West Coast. We're heading to St. Louis. So are we saying that we have 2.5 home field advantages, or are we giving Birmingham?
We'll see this. I mean, I think Birmingham actually, it's historically they would be like one of the better, but
okay. So St. Louis, DC, and Birmingham teams where they actually sell tickets, and then there's everyone else.
Yeah.
So Battlehawks at home again. Line opening at 6.5 against the Defenders. If this is an NFL game, it's very clear what they're telling us. They expect money to come in on the Defenders, and they don't want to make it 7. You see the way this crowd changes the games. You see the way that now they're, I guarantee Greg Williams brought juice to that fucking locker room, and they're going to miss that. If any, I mean, again, why was he doing the interviews? Because he was the leader. And plus 250 for the Defenders, minus 310 for the Battlehawks, 38.5 is the total. This is the one where I say I don't know if I'm smashing the under. Not in the dome. But Colby, we're back in on Tony Meatball. He's the better coach in this matchup, I'd say.
Oh man, I don't even know. I mean, I think I saw
gotta
you guys
give 'em the
power
best.
rankings. I think I saw you guys power rankings, and I think they were. So they've played the easiest schedule. They've played one home game, but also the 8th and 7th ranked teams, I think. So it's hard to get
According
a gauge
to
on
your
that.
rankings.
But the Greg Williams loss, it's got to mean something. But I will say DC's played them good historically. I do believe
But
the Battlehawks
hasn't DC. Who have they lost DC, or what are they dealing with coaching wise? Isn't their coach also preparing for the Tennessee State spring game?
Yes, there's a spring
and
game.
They lost their
going on
defensive coordinator, and they're going into the one place that has a home field. Are you kidding me? This is a lock of all locks. Battlehawks are a completely different team at home. They're actually a good, competent team. You guys were crazy.
But they're going to give Wilkins
the Brahmas.
I think you're right, but I think they will give like Wilkins. Here's where I'm a little concerned. He hasn't really opened up the field much. You know, he does a lot of dink and dunk stuff, and then he runs with his legs. I wonder against that Greg Williams defense, even though he's not there, they're still gonna be running his shit. I think, if they can have an effect on that, and then force him, because if he at some point playing these shitty teams, at some point he's gonna have to take some shots down the field.
Well,
I still think you're right though. That DC just left. You know, what do we? You got to take St. Louis with the home crowd, but I don't feel as great about it just because I feel like it's a sucker's bet in a way, because I feel like DC historically kind of fucks with them.
The spread's telling you that. I do think you're right there, Colby. But we heard Greg Williams say this in the sideline interview that he was conducting as the defensive coordinator in the first game. He's not running his shit. He's running shit that his players like. So I don't know what that means. Now
they're
that
0-3 all time against DC, I think, right? Is that accurate?
Throw the record books out the window. It's St. Louis at home. You guys can talk for 25 minutes. You take the Battlehawks at home. It's one of the few auto plays in this.
I'm in on that. Because I specifically think Greg Williams matters.
Yeah, and I will take.
It's a weird thing.
I'm also going to take the under 38.5 because I don't believe that much in this defender's offense.
I'll take the under too, and I think their defense can confuse Wilkins. I think everyone's saying Wilkins the best quarterback in the league,
and they might.
Yeah.
Battlehawks have scored 57 points so far.
No, they look great, but what do you put in that? You know, like.
Well,
the white Tigers making some noise.
That's all right.
But yeah.
In fairness, the Roughnecks held Arlington down a little bit. I mean, you can say that Arlington tripped over their dick.
38.5 is high for the UFL.
Yeah.
So what are you doing, Ryan?
I'm going to take the under as well. I'm just saying this. What I'm a little worried about is the Battlehawks have shown the ability to score, and with these rules and with the DC does still have a competent offense. Like I could see this one, and again, probably why it's the second highest total, but this is the one I could see turning in. Maybe St. Louis is up 14, or that weird once you go up a lot and they just play prevent, but also can get like the 3-point play in the 4th and 12, and it gets a little wonky there at the end. That's all I'm saying. I'd circle this one. This is the wonky randomly score 50-point game.
I will say now, I do believe this website I'm looking at.
Oh wait, you like the under?
I'm going to take all the unders.
Okay. You just said this is going to be the 50-point game, and I was just confirming that you were still.
No, you're not listening to everything I said. I said I'm taking the under, but if I had to circle one game that gets wonky at the end and turns into a 50-point game, this is it. Because both teams could competently move the ball on offense, which is what you need for garbage time. You can't be as bad as the Houston Roughnecks or something like that.
Colby, what were you going to toss in?
Well, I was just going to say, according to these teams, I'm trying to pull up last season stuff, but
they delete that right away.
Well, I was looking at 2020 before COVID hit. That the under would have cashed. It was DC won by 9, but and then in 23,
I don't know that the pre-COVID results impact this league.
In 23, the Battlehawks lost 34-28 to DC, and then the second game in 23, DC won 28-20. So the over would have hit on both of those. And then last season, the Battlehawks scored 45 on DC, 45-12. So they would have got the over by themselves. And then the second matchup, they won 26-21. So DC does lead the all-time series 3-2, guys. I know you guys really care about this, but 4 of the 5 have gone on the over. So sign me up to the over.
I think we need an official spring football like Google sheet that tracks all the franchises through all the leagues.
Oh wow!
I mean, if we had something,
could our server handle
here's
everyone?
what I'll say.
Everyone signing up
if
for that?
we added that,
Sharks.
if we added that to the Patreon, would people subscribe just to gain access to that file?
SportsGamblingPodcast.com.
Well, how much would you
Patreon? Let your voice be heard. Do you want a UFL Bible, a historical reference?
I'll allow Colby to create the slides for each team.
Oh,
so
wow. Did you show the slides, man?
No, Colby forgot to put them on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Good teamwork there, guys.
Yeah. The spring, we can call it the Spring King.
Oh,
our Patreon sheets, the Spring King, because we're not only UFL, we're USFL, World League,
That's
NFL,
what I mean.
Europe.
we're gonna include all of it, right?
The Hot Shots was a cool name.
Let's go.
I missed that team name.
I will say, looking at the IFA's schedule, Colby, we'll see if we can crowbar it in.
Oh, you can't. You're canceling it now because you were all on board the other day.
No, I am on board. I am on board. I'll commit to definitely 100% posting a power ranking for the IFA.
I know you're crushed just like me when the Cancun Sharks, moved to Wheeling, West Virginia. But with the league also, what's that?
Oh, I just don't want. I'm a little also worried that we may accidentally uncover some sort of trafficking or some sort of cartel related.
It is a fentanyl ring. I mean, we may need some legit journalists to cover this thing.
Better question. Why would you? Yeah. Why
are all the teams also on like known dope smuggling routes next to major highways?
I was going to ask guys if I could put
free rental car with different plates as your signing bonus.
Could I put the company credit card up on a spot in Chihuahua, Mexico?
Well, I mean, so again, if you pull, fuck it, we're pulling the map up real quick because we got to see. I mean, we just have to. The fact that this is, I mean, it's Sean, beautiful early on to this, but like, there's also like a clear line. Like, what if this is a tunnel under the earth?
No, they're known smuggling routes. I'm telling you. If you can bring up the map, while you're bringing up the map, I'm going to shout out Underdog Fantasy. Use Underdog Fantasy. Get it in over there. Use the promo code SGPN. Get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. They have so much action. If you missed Colby's Masters preview, you're getting in late. There's still plenty of time to hop in on live action for the Masters. We already got the NFL season up.
They're a brand new sponsor of the UFL, actually.
Yeah, they are one of the main sponsors of the UFL, and so the UFL lines aren't up. I know Colby's been great about tweeting out his UFL lineups for Underdog when those post, along with our buddy J Mark, CJ, all the guys over on the UFL Gambling Podcast. Get in UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN, and of course we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is just great for the Masters, great for golf. They just launched their MLB product as well. Download the Rhythm app, use the promo code SGPN25 for 20% off monthly, 50% off the year. When you use the promo code SGPN50, you get a free 7-day trial as well. You're going to want to download the Rhythm app. It's great for golf, MLB. Let's say you don't know anything about baseball. Not a problem. That's why you got Rhythm. You can easily build a baseball model in seconds. All you got to do is adjust the sliders. Very easy and very profitable. Rhythm's been on a nice little heater. Use the promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50 with the Rhythm app.
So, all right. So first, all right. Forget the fact that they're conveniently in a straight line.
Look at this.
So Arkansas is an expansion team, not starting this season, but next season, 2026. And the Ohio Valley team that's clearly in an epicenter of places that would consume whatever they're shipping up there
You can get Ohio Valley's perfect. You hit Pittsburgh, Cleveland.
They were supposed
the
to
whole Northeast over there, and then obviously you got to dip down into Florida, Alabama, right next there to Georgia, another hot spot there in Atlanta. Like this is just it's perfect.
The only thing we're missing is El Paso. All right, we got to get a team in El Paso next year.
Yeah, it's kind of a long tunnel from Chihuahua to San Antonio, but it works.
I mean, so let's predict the next, because Arkansas, had we not seen that Arkansas was on the map, we could almost predict Arkansas.
Yeah.
They're the first expansion team. Where will the next, I'm going to throw out Kentucky. Kentucky makes a lot of sense.
I mean, Sean does make a lot of sense. So one of my best buddies growing up was learning to be a pilot while he was at Middle Tennessee State. And while he was taking the courses, someone offered him some money. He didn't do this, but I know that some people that he had talked to said that you paint your planes black and you fly below radar, and that's how you can smuggle. This is 20 years ago, so I don't know about now, but they said they would go on to runs. According to what he told me, was they would do a lot of runs into Arkansas, Louisiana, and Alabama because they were kind of low key.
Arkansas is noteworthy for, and then I mean you watch. I believe the Cocaine Cowboys guys were flying into Bama, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the only, or I think it was like North Florida. The only kind of like a rural area. The only thing that's missing is a West Coast connection. So when they announce
different cartel.
Oh, you're right. They got to get the Mexicali operation up and going.
So where are you predicting? So let's make a prediction.
Oh, the Tucson Toledos will be the next organization that announces.
Tucson.
Yeah.
It's right on the border. How about Yuma?
Yeah, that's not their MO though. Right on the border isn't the MO. So I don't know.
If you gotta go. You gotta be in disguise. Flagstaff, the Flagstaff fire.
They don't. I'll make another. Here's a bold prediction. New Orleans. Another port.
Oh, okay.
Full control over the Gulf of America.
Yeah, look at the Gulf of America connection here as well, Ryan. I think you're on to something. Tampa right on the Gulf of America, San Antonio.
Well, that's why this Cancun Sharks. Maybe it was too big of a bullseye. They had to get him out of there because the Cancun Sharks.
Well,
I think that was going to be everyone's favorite.
That was the
team.
triangle right there.
It closes the loop. My goodness, we might be getting honest. Is Havana in the works? Maybe there.
Yeah.
That could be a replacement for Cancun.
I can see them.
Aruba's right there.
Ooh, I like that. Now, I was thinking, Kramer's a little off with New Orleans. I was thinking Shreveport.
Okay,
you go a little north.
Right.
You go a little north. There's New Orleans too much of a bullseye, especially after that terrorist shit.
It's
so
like
you go into Shreveport, you're good.
It's like the Southwest strategy, right? You pick the smaller airport near the big city because they have cheaper terminal fees. So what city would that be in Missouri? Colby, is that Columbia?
I mean, well, there's Columbia, Missouri. What about that show? Is that too big of a thing? What was the Ozarks?
Actually, I know what it is. Tulsa.
Oh yeah, Tulsa.
Because you have a lot of
town. Yeah.
Well, they're probably going to want to make sure they connect up with some of the tribes in our great country because we know they're really good at distribution. And they generally don't make great stuff themselves. So I've been getting real into the drug stuff on late night TV.
Yeah. Remember when I reached out to Oral Roberts University to come on the show and they said they don't do anything affiliated with gambling. And then you watch their games and that tribe's casino's right behind on their billboards and everything. 1 mile away. Perfect. Yeah. Nothing. No, we don't do anything gambling related.
Nothing to see here. All right, let's close out with some locks and a dog. Kramer, what do you got?
I think the first lock is the under in the Panthers Brahmas game.
Oh yeah, I also like that a lot.
I think the second lock is probably the Stallions.
Okay,
yeah, let's throw the Stallions on there. And I think the third lock, I mean, I think the situation is too strong for the Battle Hawks. And this one, I think you bet now. We've seen these numbers really move after our show specifically. But and then when the rest of the market catches up, But this one strikes me as if I had to guess one moves a bunch, like the biggest move between now and kickoff. I'm going to guess it's the Battlehawks here. What do you think? Think it closes at 10, 9.5,
7.5 would be my prediction.
Fuck. Sorry. I was logging into my bookie and I just realized I didn't win the 50-50.
Yeah. They have a 50-50 raffle. What's your money line dog, Kramer?
I
Brahmas.
mean,
I
kind of want to be controversial here.
Okay.
And give me the Roughnecks.
All right. That is certainly controversial.
Contrarian play. And then we're going to do a money bag at the end of the show.
Okay. I have a pretty similar. I mean, to me, Stallions are a lock. Battlehawks are a lock, 3.5, 6.5 respectively. And then, yeah, I'm with you. I like that Brahmas Panthers under 36.5. But you know what? I'm going to just make Brahmas plus 5.5 as a lock instead of the total, and the Brahmas on the money line as my dog. Colby, what do you got?
Yeah, lock up Birmingham -3 against the Renegades. Lock up the Brahmas plus 5.5. Lock up. This is where it gets a little tricky. Let's go with the under the Brahmas Panthers game, 36.5. And the money line is the Brahmas getting it done.
Love it.
All right.
Kramer, you got a live money bag for the show?
Yeah,
this is a fun way to close
so
things out.
What do you guys think we do on? Where'd it go?
So if you're not familiar, mybookie.ag promo code SGPN. They have a bunch of fun, different ways to play a money bag. You put up a random, you put in your bet, $20, and they'll give you a random bet on that in that sport. We were doing some for the Kentucky Derby. CJ was talking about ones he did for the Masters.
Okay, we can get effectively 100 to 1 plus 9975 on a random college football winner for next year.
Let's go. This will be
Colby,
great.
give me a couple schools that definitely I'm going to get good odds on if we
are we talking what are we talking win total? Are we talking
no to win it all?
So to win it all.
Just the future. Okay. Yeah, just the future. So we'll do my standard $25. So $25 to win almost 2,500. Sean,
I mean,
I
think
for this. Here we go.
Who is he rooting for, Colby? Who would be the best team to get 100 to 1 future on?
Like Georgia, I'd assume, or
I mean, Penn State's bringing everyone back. Penn State's doing what Ohio State did and Michigan did the year before.
So
paid all their players to return. So I think that would probably be the
LSU.
one.
So Ohio State's the favorite right now, then Texas, then Georgia, then Oregon, then Penn State, Alabama, 14 to 1 Notre Dame. So any of these big name programs.
Just give me CLV. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. Give me the sound effect.
Don't Navy,
or be hilariously bad.
Please.
Virginia Tech.
Oh, Louisville. Hey, I like it. Brown baby, year 3. Hey. Why not? They went to the ACC championship year 1. They were 1 game away last year.
Can we do one more?
Louisville is comically priced at almost 100 to 1.
Really? Okay, perfect.
Lateral move, but
we're doing one more. We're doing one more.
All right. You can see how you can get stuck here with the money bag all
it's
day.
So dumb though, because I could just go click the button. And bet
promo
the
code SGPN. Yeah, it's more fun to have it random.
Come on.
Wyoming.
I see a lot of bad schools.
Syracuse.
I see a lot of bad.
San Diego State.
That's not hitting.
Oh man, damn it! Although we love San Diego State. Nothing but great things to say about San Diego State.
San Diego State 2,000 to 1. So not great CLV.
If anyone wants to buy that ticket from me, I'll let you get in.
All right. Very fun. Check it out. mybookie.ag. Check out Colby Dant. The Colby D on your socials there. It's got the college experience already talking a little early college experience football. You get the college experience baseball show going as well. UFL gambling with J Mark and our buddy, Mr. CJ Sullivan, Bottom Line Bombs. And of course, tune into our recent show tomorrow night 8 o'clock Pacific, going live. I'm sure we'll be talking a little. I'll talk a little bit of everything. More NFL draft, UFL, some early plays, NBA, MLB, a little bit of everything. So a good time to call in. Check it out.
Real quick, Sean, before we end the show, we also have some relatively bad news for most, good news for some. The CFL Gambling Podcast has been uncanceled.
Oh no!
Colby,
how did that slip through the cracks?
Do you want to promote the? I think preseason May 19th openers are on Saturday, May 24th. Anything to promote coming up?
Oh yes, we got an episode talking futures, and obviously we'll have some preseason.
Wait, you already had it scheduled?
Huge tits parlays.
What?
Yeah. I mean,
What the
look,
fuck is this?
I told you I was going to release underground. All right. This will be like the Nixon tapes. I told you they were going to happen one way or another.
I mean, if there's anyone to thank here, I guess you have to thank the President Trump for putting those tariffs on hold for 90 days.
There you go.
Hopefully the season.
The tariff pause has brought the CFL back.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, we'll have to pick a winner this year, Sean. Put a future on.
Go Stampeders.
Stampeders.
No, actually Argonauts.
Tiger Cats are always fun to root for.
They Argos, baby.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Good show.
Kramer. Let it rip.